Hey, welcome back to the secret underground lair. So I got the shelf piece glued together yesterday, or in the last video you saw the top being glued together and the leg blanks being glued together. So off camera I did the shelf pieces. So this represents two shelves, or lower tops if you will. And I'm going back to a tool you haven't seen me use for a little while, the Bed Rail Router Sled. So I have the piece kind of leveled up as much as I can in here, and I'm just going to take about 1/8 of an inch off the top of this, flip it over, and then take probably about 3/16 of an inch off the other side. The goal is that I want this to get to be 3/4 of an inch thick, and of course I want a nice flat surface all around. So I'm going to start on this side. There's a little bit of cupping going on in here, and a little bulge in here. So the router sled is just going to take care of all of that. There'll be multiple passes. That's today's adventure, at least the start of the adventure. So there's pass one. Pretty good job. Got rid of the bulk of the work in here that was a problem. Got rid of some high spot that was down here. What I'm left with is a little bit of a low spot there, a little bit low spot down here. Of course, there's low in this valley. I'm not sure that I'm going to get the entire valley out, but we're going to get rid of a little bit more. And a low spot here and here. So a little bit of tapering off here on these two outside pieces, and a little bit of cupping in the middle. So I'm going to drop down 1/16 of an inch, make another pass. Worked out really well. A little bit of blade, the blade sunk a little bit on me through here. I hadn't got it tightened up quite right. So with another light pass over this piece, I'll be very happy with the finish on that. Then we'll flip it over and do the other side. But this is really nice and flat, beautiful. Really happy with that. So I just made an executive decision here that I would take that 1/16 of an inch off before I go in for lunch, having remembered letting a piece sit for a little while between cuts like that. And if I leave the piece to sit a little bit, I found it will shift ever so slightly as it climatizes and some of the stress is relieved from that cut. But I did that, so now I have this surface really nicely smooth. That'll just take to some sanding perfectly. There aren't any overly bearing router marks left on that, apart from a burn mark where I let the router sit for just a second there, and where I pressed a little bit down on the bed rail a little bit there. But those will sand out if they're not cut out from the piece entirely. So All right, now I'm gonna go have a bite of lunch. Then I'll come back, flip this over and do the other side. All right, we've got our piece set up, flipped over now. So I'm gonna take a first little skim pass off here. Well, I hope I'm not taking too much. I expect it'll be a little bit heavier through this part where it's bowed. Ultimately though, what we're gonna be doing is going down to get this piece to 3/4 of an inch. So be a few passes on this piece. So having made that cut, I'm just going to do a little bit of checking on the thickness here. Make sure that we have the piece shimmed properly. I don't want to be taking too much off one end and not the other. I've been checking this pretty carefully as I've been going along, but I'll just continue checking to make sure that it's right. Now at 3/4 of an inch. We got a beautiful, just a beautiful flat surface here. It's just slightly more than 3/4 of an inch thick, about a 1/16 or so. So suitable for sanding. That's just going to be just about perfect for what we want. So the router sled worked very well. I did have an initial problem in the first few passes I was making. Bearings on the far side were a little bit tight, so I was able to make a little bit of an adjustment, get them sitting exactly right, and that freed up the sled quite a bit. So it makes it just back and forth very easily, as you saw on that last pass there. So we're now at a point where we could cut this to size. And we can also sand this surface, and we can sand the top surface, get them smooth. So in fact, I'm gonna do that sanding before cutting them. So it's just easier to sand a bigger surface, and that way it remains even throughout. And I'm gonna use the belt sander initially, just to go over this roughly with some 60 grit, or I think I have 80 grit on the belt sander. Cool. Bed Rail Router Sled, working like a champ. I'm just going to give this a quick once over with the belt sander. And we'll use a respirator for this one. I don't expect to take a lot off this. This is just going to be a quick pass. I'm going to bring you in to get a good close-up look of what it is that I'm trying to remove with the belt sander. Those little swirl marks with the router that the belt sander is taking off. Let me show you what I mean. So if you look at this piece here, you can see little tiny lines here that represent, that were put there by the router bit as it was swirling around. So just some little ridges there. So by running the belt sander over it, those marks are just gone. Got other marks, but those marks are just gone. So that's what the belt sander is doing. It's just removing that little bit of router remnant. Just flip it over and do the other side. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. A little bit of work I'm going to do in here. There's a nasty crack that'll require some filling. But overall, I don't think that'll affect the piece very much. This is going to be the underside, so not going to be visible. Good. Okay, I'm going to put up the other piece and we'll sand it off too. So as you can see, I'm focusing a fair bit in this area here. There was a bit of a cup here, so I'm just trying to get that as flat as I can. There's also a bit of a cup over here, not as much, but just a little bit. So I'll also be working this area pretty heavily before starting to go back and forth this way with the sander. Getting close. Up here we're very good. So I'm just kind of working this area down a little bit, and then it can blend in with this side piece very nicely. Down here we're good. In here we're good. And get rid of a little more, as I said, get rid of a little cupping in here, and get rid of some cupping in there. It's coming along though. So we're getting very close on this piece now. Up here we're really good, right across from here to here. Getting just all the way down this side we're fine. Getting really close in here, a little bit more in these areas. It's kind of in here a bit. That's feeling really good though. That side's going to take a little bit more work. There's some pretty, you can feel it's fairly cupped here in this section. So that'll take a little extra work. Nearly done with this piece though. Feeling good about it. Well, this looks like a good time to take a break. Have to go pick up a new belt for my belt sander. Nearly done on this side though. It's coming along really, really well. I'm very pleased with the result that I'm getting here. I'm happy that I have picked this piece for the top piece. The wood I think is a little nicer as well. The other piece is very good, not complaining about that. I just kind of like this one a little better. All right, I'll be back when I have a new belt. Okay, just got a new belt for the belt sander, so we're just gonna finish up this side over here, flip it over and do the other side. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. That's a nice looking piece. The other side could be the top. All right, next step will be cutting these to size. On the top piece, I'm actually using my little circular saw to cut off this angle here first. So I've measured this with a square, got them set properly, got this lined up as a guide. So I'm going to make this cut first, and then I can set my fence to 19 inches and make the 2 more cuts. I'm also using tape here just to make sure that I minimize tear out. So I believe the tape helped with that tear out, or minimize tear out, but I did another trick on this one, just for fun, and that is I used a little knife, an X-Acto knife, and I scored the line. And I can see, even with the tape, there's a little bit of tear out. It's a rough cut up to that cut line. At the cut line, it's perfect. One bit of tear out here. I really like that result. Okay. So now I can make 2 more cuts on the table saw to get the exact width for the tops that we want. But before I do that, I'm going to cut off the other, the shelf piece, same way I did this. Back in a sec. Okay, set up for a second cut, and I scored this one as well. You know, just a little bit. It looks like the saw blade might have come on this side of my scoring mark, which is a pity, but still, tear out is not much there at all. Okay, happy with that. Okay, I'm going to now set up the fence, and I'm going to make the cross cuts for 19-inch widths, and then I have put tape on the underside of this, hopefully reduce some tear out as the blade goes through. Fence set to 19 plus a 32nd, just to give me a little bit of wiggle room. So we'll make 2 cuts. Put a piece through this way first, then just slide it all down, take 1 more cut. So now I'll do exactly the same cut on the top piece. First I'm going to put some tape on it. Tape did a wonderful job on that cut, and an equally wonderful job on this cut. Very happy with that. Alright, so next cut we're going to set the fence to be 18 plus a 32nd, and we'll run all the pieces through to get them to the correct width. And I'm going to be taking that inch off the wide board. So these 2 boards will be relatively the same width, and then we have this one extra piece on here. Just getting all the pieces oriented the same way. Here we don't go. I'm just observing as I put this piece up against the fence that I don't have quite a straight edge here that I was expecting. Yeah, I think I'm going to apply the bed rail technique here just to get a straight edge, then I can cut on this side. Okay, that's an added complication. So I'll finish that up tomorrow. It's kind of late in the day right now. Time of day where I'm likely to make a mistake, so it's better to stop, refresh, and then I'll attack this again tomorrow. But I'm very pleased with the progress made so far. We've got our tops and our shelves. Legs are ready to be cut to final dimension. It's looking good. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you on the next video.